Papa Iteso, Obusi. I'm going to speak in English because I'm told we have many guests here. I have only not heard about the Chapadola Students Association. I hope they are also somewhere. Otherwise, I've heard about Bugwere, I've heard about Koma, Zambogo, I've heard about Lango, Acholi, Sabine, and the rest of the country. I'm also happy that we have representatives from most of the institutions where we have chapters. So first, I'll introduce myself, and then I'll comment about the programs that the President talked about. Eka Kiror, Robert Bella Okudi. Arengo, an economist. Arengo, alumni, Makere chapter.
Alumni zone!
Alumni! I was in Makere University, 1987 to 1990. Graduating in 1991 with a Bachelor of Arts in Economics.
Atake. Opposition. Katunga itimono rose. Aina kisango civil neja ipapa oko. Kole no seja alumna kawana. Itimono rose katunga you have only a few minutes alone of music work and you shall enjoy. But let's use this time. I like to respect leaders equal okay. Our guest of honor is communicating and we are making noise. Please, I humbly request you, please. Etimono Rose, Elile Kisabuko Kisi. Organizing community help me and move around. Angara Kistunga in a Painos. Ikatung in a Painos. I don't care that's but let's be orderly enough. We are intellectual. We could have suited Bala Mitunga Luchala. Ina Painos. Okay, Alama.
MC and responsible for education and sports. And imagine education means ensuring that the culture of the people is institutionalized in the person. So, as I told you, I graduated in 1991 in economics, and that time competition for government jobs wasn't as diverse now. So immediately I joined the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. The ministry was merged later with Ministry of Finance into what is now called the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. So I worked in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development for about 30 years. Until March, when I was posted to the Ministry of Education as the commissioner responsible for economic planning. So my presence here is first as an ETSOT and as an alumni of Makere chapter, but also now I'm responsible for planning for education for the whole of this country, and I believe that if there is a saying of charity starts at home, I think that can cause a change. For us in Texas, we grapple with the education standards in our region. The other thing I wish to introduce myself about is that I'm the founder chairman of TESDA Students Development Association. bring TESDA to perspective. How was TESDA formed? What was the vision? And what is the transformation that it's going through? Some of you may have been around by 1986 when the NRM government came to power. 26th of January is the declared date of the takeover of government. The NRA then had to fight its way all the way to the north. They liberated Teso in February 1986, sweeping the rest of the armies all the way into Sudan. After about 6 months, those forces regrouped themselves. And in August, my dear brothers and sisters, I wish we could share this information. So about 6 months later, the former Uganda army mobilized itself and started waging a guerrilla war in the names of UPDF, LF, and all that. And the intention was to make a rise up, to instigate a rise up in the whole of the east and the north of the country, to take revenge against the NRA, which at that time was really an offshoot of the lower part of this country, the south and the west. In Teso we had militia. In Teso we had the commander of the special forces. Now, at that time, the government feared that that rebellion was going to attract most of the militia who we had in Teso. And what did they do? They decided to disband the militia, which was at the forefront of fighting cattle rustling. I remember at the time when the cattle rustlers would come and sweep through an area, the villagers would go and report to them. The army would say they came to liberate the country, not to fight tribal wars. So the Teso felt that there was a conspiracy, because many of you students of political science know about the Machiavellian principles. So if people are wealthy, if people are rich, if people are capable, if they are not needy, it's not very easy for you. So there was a belief at the time that this was a conspiracy to remove our wealth from us so that we can be beggars, so that we could be controlled. That's how most of our youth, most of our relatives who were in the forces at the time decided to go to war. Around about the middle of 1988, there was full-blown, 87, full-blown war in Teso. Cabinet decided that the war was very intense. It had occupied almost half of the country, and this most of the east and the north. And cabinet decided that it was the best time for us to negotiate. So, ministers, 3 of our ministers, Aburakol, Ekinu, and Okudi, decided to go and talk to the rebels. But in December 1987, they were abducted. They went for talks, the rebels decided to capture them. And it was not until March the next year that Aburakol was able to escape, and Then he came and brought some intelligence information and also information which helped with reaching out to the commanders at the time. As the negotiations were going on, the army went and they decided to rescue the ministers, whereby one of the ministers, the king, was killed and Okudi was rescued. That was sometime in August 1988. So I'm trying to explain to you how TESDA emanated from this situation, where we had a rebel war going on in Teso, where we the students were in Makerere, and it was not possible for us to reach home because most of our parents were in the camps. So one day we heard about the incident which happened about the rescue and the death of one of the ministers. When we came back for the term, 1988, we decided to form ourselves into an association, a grouping of leaders. We graduated that into an association with the Constitution in 1989. So that's how TESDA was created, and I became its founder chairman. So I'm really very, very happy to be here. I'm proud of you. I came in earlier in the day, there were a few numbers, but now I can see that the numbers are what can satisfy. As our brother from TV East will say, he's really impressed with the numbers. But even if there are few, so long as you have a focus, so long as you have the hunger for developing of your people, that's good enough. Because a grain of wheat, you throw a grain of wheat into the ground, it sprouts and bears forth much fruit. And that's what we are aiming at. TESDA was formed in 34 years ago. And when I see strong like this, when I see branches in all institutions around the country, I feel proud, I feel happy. I feel that what we started was not in vain. I'm from Mukura, and many of you must have heard that we have a monument, we have a memorial secondary school in memory of the war which took place at the time. So I'm really, where 69 people were suffocated in a railway coach. We have a secondary school there in memory, and ask me myself, we have TESDA to show for it. So, on the projects, President Okudi one time sent me a proposal. So I've been following up on the initiatives. And President Okudi has also re-emphasized some of those areas that are for post-war funding and assistance. TESDA oye! TESDA oye! Makere oye! Papa Iteso Obusi. So projects. I've been trying to interest the various chairpersons of TESDA. And it's good we have a national coordinator here. A database of professionals of TESDA. Today, our uncles in Karamoja are very happy because they feel that they have a mineral base. They feel that the future is very bright for them. They feel that it's just a matter of time that this resource will be converted into value and will benefit directly to the people. The people of Bunyoro are now swimming in oil. Even if the price of oil is going down, but they know that it's well done. What do we have to say? How far will cassava have value? If the rest of the north plants cassava, especially arising from the parish development model, where will the price be leading to? Will it be increasing or reducing? So what shall we depend on? The only resource that we feel is sustainable is our human capital. You, the intellectuals, and those who entered Makerere before you. The human resource is what we need to harness. Because the natural resource may not be adequate enough to pull us out of poverty. The natural resource is not enough to demystify what our uncles predicted long ago, that ETSO youth who were incited by adrenaline, and they were going to reach the end of the world and become slaves. Our cattle have been taken away, which we used to depend on, and if we don't harness our human capital, it will be very, very difficult for us to survive and compete in this competitive world. So how do we do it? I've been sharing with the leadership of the association that we need to create a database. You need to know what my capabilities are. We need to have a database of all our CVs so that we are able to mobilize the human resource. If we need consultancies, if we need to develop a university in Soroti, we are able to tap into our human resource. So that is one project which is very, very important and which is relevant to us as students. Because for us who are intellectuals, it's the brains that is our capital. And so long as you don't bring that social capital together, that capital together, if it's just individuals, you shall not develop a nation, you shall not develop a nation. The other project that I would like to interest you in, which is becoming very popular, is the boy child. The boy child. The boy child is the direction. The boy child needs role models. And where do you get those role models? From you. From Makererians, from Chambovians, from Nkumbas, and from those who they see have got a bright future. We have supported the girls. The girls have developed very well. But now we are suffering with the boy child. We are suffering with Okudi bombs. And I feel that TESDA can make a difference. As the President said, advocacy, going out there, radio stations, going out there to our relatives. But this has to be in an organized manner. And TESDA has got that forum. We now have the National Coordination Unit, and it should be able to mobilize these resources and mobilize us at county level, sub-county, and parish level. That framework is very, very important. I am an OB of Mukura Primary School. I was there for 2 terms. Yalama. That's the way. I was an OB. I was an OB for 2 months. But these days, we go and have meetings with OBs. And I try to be as religious as possible. When you go to Mukura now, the population in Mukura Primary School is 2 times that of the school which is just a few kilometers away. Because the standard has gone so high because of all the boys associations. So I would like to interest you to mobilize yourselves into ensuring that you support the schools from which you came. We formed this Old Boys and Old Guys Associations. they should help our schools. Because at times they need direction, and at times they need mobilization of resources. We saw what happened here to mobilize the president for the chief guest, small by small. You're all students, but so long as you each contribute a small amount, you are able to make a difference. And that is what we need to do. You go to OBs, many of them may be villagers, but if each of them contributes 1,000 shillings, and the school has been in existence for 50 years, can we really make a difference in that? Yes, let's go ahead. So the other projects, I have noted them. Extension, afforestation, networking with other associations, and welcoming EMURIA. We now have got Rotary associations. Mora opened a Rotary association 2 months ago. Serere has got a Rotary club. Soroti has got one. Kumi has got one. Kabiremayo. TESDA needs to partner with the existing associations to be able to implement this policy. Because you are going to the village for holidays, but those associations are on the ground, and they lack the human resource to implement some of that. In conclusion, let me support today in my record, Okudi is very popular really. Let me support Okudi. Okudi here requested that telephones should be shared. That the Ainachan
Share.
So, your brother's keeper, your sister's keeper. When you understand each other, you are going to develop very strong families. The family unit is the smallest unit which develops a country. A strong family is a strong country because it creates a strong society, it creates strong regions, and it sustains a tribe. So we really need to take that very seriously. Ainachan, Kedinachan, Idarakinos. We really encourage you as our children so that in long netite solo idiko. Ikoto nite solo idiko. Ite solo support gate more. Ite solo support gate so. Somewhere I did you. Echenilo Okadakui. Get this saying no. Each and your Venezuela Sakonai. Very genuine sweeping the compound. I thank Samuel for making a commitment. End of the month, Samuel is going to make a commitment. So I'm giving Samuel a responsibility as an alumni. We are going to make sure million in Yare. We not that due to time probably the item of collection of development money may have been missed out. So Onash is going to take leadership. So from us, alumni, by the end of the month, we shall try to ensure that we mobilize 2 million shillings.
Mambo Mbaya.
chapter. Because